Hey everybody, David here, and today I'm going to be doing my DCTV podcast where I talk about Gotham, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and The Flash. Did I mention Supergirl? Supergirl as well. Okay, so basically all the DC TV shows except for Lucifer because I'm not into that one. If you are, that's cool, but for me, Lucifer is not my thing. So let's talk about the superhero aspects. Okay, so the first one, as usual, I like to start with is Gotham because unfortunately Gotham doesn't want to be connected. It wants to be that emo kid in the classroom by himself. And that's fine because sometimes the emo kid can do good things by himself. And uh, we're on season 4, episode 2, Hog Day Afternoon. And Gordon and Bullock are pursuing Professor Pig, who is cutting off pig heads and putting the heads on his targets that he's going to be killing. And one of those targets happened to be Harvey Bullock, because Bullock has been doing bad things, and Professor Pig, has been that's the targets he's been attacking. Cops who have done wrong things. So Gordon finally finds out about this in this episode. We never knew this. But Harvey said even though he did vow to Penguin's membership, he never took advantage of it. And of course, we all believe Harvey. One thing that I was really worried about, though, in the episode was when they were making it look like Harvey was going to die because Professor Pig cut his neck, and I was freaking out. I was, please don't kill Harvey. Please don't kill Harvey. Because Harvey's a great character. He might have done some mistakes in the past, but he's a good character. He's a character with a heart, wants to do the right thing. Sometimes does the wrong thing in order to do the right thing, but he clearly is a loyal character specifically to Jim Gordon. I really like that dynamic. It's definitely the animated series from what I used to watch when I was a kid come to life, and I'm sure that's sort of similar to the comic book relationship as well, where Bullock has always respected Gordon, and I like that. We even get a little bit more Solomon Grundy this week with Edward Nygma, who has found Leslie Tompkins. And I really love this Edward Nygma Solomon Grundy relationship from last week. You know, I liked it last week and I love it again this week. I don't know what's going to happen with Solomon Grundy as the series continues. I don't know how long they plan on letting Gotham go on for, because it's getting more and more Batman-like as we continue. So, I'm liking that dynamic. And then we get Leslie Tompkins taking care of Solomon Grundy, and we learn a little bit about her, what happened to her since we last saw her, that she's working at this nightclub, but it's more for the money, because secretly she's been taking care of the poor. And I don't know too much about the Leslie Tompkins character again in the comics. My knowledge of all of these characters has always been from the animated shows while I grew up. I did read a little bit here and there in like those Ultimate Guide books that DK used to release. And obviously Wikipedia has been a little bit of a help too. Leslie Tompkins is a character I didn't read too much into, but I remember her character from the animated series, which was similar to that. Obviously, she was much more older in that, and it does make me wonder if eventually Bruce will come to her to ask for her aid, because he will need a doctor to confine to if he decides to pursue this life as a vigilante. That's how it happened in the animated series, at least. And so I wonder if eventually Bruce will come to her. So I am looking forward to it. Bruce wasn't in this episode, so we didn't get to see any, and we never really got any much Bruce and Leslie interaction yet. So that's something I've been waiting for this series to explore, because Leslie Tompkins is such an important character to Bruce Wayne's life. And then we also had the Penguin and Sophia Falcone's relationship still blossoming. And Gordon has figured this all out. And is not too happy with Sophia's planning. Whatever she's planning, she's playing a dangerous game. And Falcone knows it. Gordon knows it. So this was a really good episode. Had a lot of fun with it. I'm liking the mixture of the dramaticness of it and the wackiness of it. I think they've embraced both sides really well this season. This season is turning out to be maybe their best season to date, I feel. And their last season that I really enjoyed was season 2. So the fact that season 4, I felt season 3 was lacking a little bit. It was still better than season 1, but season 4 is definitely we're 5 episodes in, and I've been enjoying it a lot, yeah. So now we move on to Supergirl, and Supergirl season 3, episode 3, Far from the Tree. And this one, Martian Manhunter and Supergirl, John Jones and Supergirl, Kara, they decide to go to Mars after Magan sends a distress signal calling for John. And we get to meet John's father, played by actor. He did the voice of the Martian Manhunter and John Jones in Justice League Unlimited, Carl Lumbly. He's done a lot of voice work, and if hardcore fans who know the DC comic media, television and movies, yeah, he did the voice of Martian Manhunter for a couple of for many seasons in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and he played the father of John, which was a really nice passing of the torch kind of thing. You know, just like when Christopher Reeve guest starred on Smallville, or John Wesley Shipp currently on The Flash playing Barry's father. It's one of those moments, and I'm glad an animated voice actor actually got to be on screen, because I thought, are they going to have him as the Martian, his Martian form for the whole episode? That would be pretty pricey, wouldn't it? But then he had a human form, and I thought that made more sense, and it was cool seeing the actor actually be on camera in costume and everything. And I like seeing the flashbacks. They had a little bit of a flashback to John when he was with his family on Earth. Got to see a little bit of that relationship with his father, and a little bit of his daughters as well. Yeah, all of that on Mars was really cool. I really enjoyed it with them teaming up with the White Martians to find, I believe it was the staff. It's already escaping my mind a little bit. It's been a couple of days already. And so they were looking for the staff, and yeah, I liked all of that. And then there was the stuff on Earth with Maggie and Alex having their bachelorette party. And Maggie is having issues because her father and mother, specifically her father, didn't approve of her coming out as a gay. And I thought, at first I was kind of rolling my eyes a little bit, because I do feel the show has been a little bit too preachy on the subject. And at first I felt that way, but then when I saw the father express his true feelings on the matter, when he walked out after he saw Alex and Maggie kissing, and he exploded on her, telling her how he really felt and why, I felt the ugliness of that is something that needed to be shown, because that's something I don't think has been. I don't know. I don't watch every TV show in the world, but that is something that not a lot of people really talk about, the ugliness of it all. When people just hate on something for no reason, and the fact that this show didn't sugarcoat it actually made me appreciate that storyline in this episode a lot more. So I think the Maggie and Alex storyline worked really well, and sometimes things work out. Sometimes people do accept when their son or daughter comes out, and sometimes they don't. And in this one, unfortunately, the father couldn't accept this. Will we see that storyline evolve into something more? I think it's an interesting storyline to definitely go back to and see more of. But I hope they stick real to it, like, or maybe just leave it as that maybe that's how it should end. I don't know. We'll see. And then we move on to The Flash, season 4, episode 3, Luck Be a Lady. I did a full episode review of this one. So if you want to watch the separate review, well, okay, just watch this or listen to this, whatever. But yes, I did a full review of this one. Yeah, I thought the episode was fine. I just thought it was a little bit too wacky. I don't mind Flash being funny, but we're 3 episodes in and they're really going all out with the wackiness. I feel like it's almost even more wackier than Legends of Tomorrow. And I feel Legends has a perfect balance of the wackiness, the campiness, and the dramatic. Well, Flash is going too campy. There was the whole stuff in the church where Barry and Iris were trying to get married quick, and then the priest like had a rash or something, started coughing like crazy. There was the meta-human of the episode was, in my opinion, a little annoying. Even Harry Wells from Earth 2 came back, and even I felt he felt a little bit different in this episode. He felt a little bit too lighter than he usually does. He's usually known as the mopey Harrison Wells, so it's like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this wackiness can continue all throughout. I hope it doesn't go like this throughout the entire season, because I do want to feel some stakes involved. And if they just go wacky throughout the whole thing, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to see how it is, but yeah, that's how I feel on that matter. But yeah, the villain, the metahuman, kind of brought the episode down for me a little bit. Again, it wasn't a terrible episode. I still had a good time with it. There were some funny moments that had me laughing out loud a bit. But then there were some moments that were like, especially when the metahuman was there, I was kind of turned off a little bit. I was like, come on, just get this villain out of the way and over with. But everything else I really enjoyed. And I'm looking forward more for the Thinker, sorry, wrong villain. Yeah, I'm waiting for the Thinker to really make a move soon, because right now he just seems like he's watching, kind of like how Harrison Wells did. But at least Harrison Wells from the first season kind of did stuff while also watching things that he missed throughout his day. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a movement from the Thinkers very, very soon. Other than that, yeah, not much else to say about this episode. I just kind of wish toned down on the comedy, I guess. Then we got Legends of Tomorrow, season 3, episode 3, Zari. And this introduces us to a hero with powers in the future, who is a fugitive because superheroes aren't, and religion apparently, aren't allowed to be going on in the year, I think they said 2045, I want to say. I don't remember right now. And we get Kawaza, Vixen's granddaughter, Maya's granddaughter, in this episode as well. No, I really enjoyed this episode a lot. This was a really fun episode, and it, again, going back to Flash, it kind of balanced the comedy aspect and the dramatic aspect really well, I felt. I really loved all the stuff with Sarah, all the stuff with Nate and Amaya when they were doing their meditating, and Nate starts to go all like he's high. I thought that made me crack up like crazy. I loved it. I thought Nate being high, like he was high on drugs. I thought I thought it was hilarious. I could not stop laughing. I thought this is great for this character because he definitely has the comedic abilities. Mick is always, he is Mick. Mick is Mick. So you know what you're getting with him. You're getting some great moments with him as well. And Kawaza, her water ability, I like that Ray recognized her. Well, he didn't really recognize her, did he? He just said that he once faced a villain like that before. Why didn't he recognize her completely? Is it only because he faced her one time? Or maybe he just never had a good look at her. I don't remember. Other than that, oh yeah, we got Gary back. Gary from the Time Bearer, and Ava Sharp. Gary is great. I like Gary. He's not he's not the kind of agent you think that they would put on an assignment like that, but he's having some fun interaction, I think, with the rest of the cast. And someone said that they wouldn't mind seeing Gary become a full-time regular, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad idea. I think he's a funny character that I could see. I can see the writers having a little bit of fun with. And then of course we get the very end there, where we see young Ray Palmer running away from some punks, and he is hiding, and he sees a creature behind him. We don't know what this creature is. I didn't watch the preview for next week, so I'm going to assume that creature is Grodd. I'm going to say somehow Grodd is there, and he's changing the past. That's going to be my prediction. So with that being said, I think, Legends of Tomorrow was a really enjoyable episode. Really had a good time with it. And now finally, we get to the final DC TV show on the list, Next of Kin. I did a full review of this one too. So let's get right into it also. Season 6, episode 3, Next of Kin. Okay, so this one, Diggle is going through some problems. His nerve damage is really making him nervous. And he gets frozen at times. And some of the teammates are they're questioning him. Specifically Renee. And I didn't like that Renee went behind Diggle's back to go talk to Oliver. I get why he did it. I just didn't like the way he handled it. He should have been concerned about Diggle, but in a much more better way of handling it. But I did like the talk that her and Dinah and Diggle have had. They've been talking for the last couple of episodes about this. Dinah's sort of been even being very concerned for Diggle. This is kind of like a new Black Canary Green Arrow relationship we haven't seen before. It's interesting, and there is chemistry between those two actors. I hope they don't have Diggle cheat on Lila. That's my only concern, because this is a CW show, and the CW loves to make things into a soap opera once in a while, and that's a soap opera that I do not want to see. I hope Diggle always stays loyal to Lila, even if we don't see her for a while. Just have him always loyal to her. Because they have a kid together, and I don't want to see. I just want Dinah and Diggle to remain very good friends, and so far I'm really liking that they have been keeping it that way. Oliver and Diggle have a discussion about what is going on, and I really like that conversation that they had in the Arrow Cave when Oliver came back down to talk to Diggle, because Renee went to him, ratted Diggle out. Oliver has this one-on-one conversation, and really reminded me of season 1, when Diggle always had or even season 2, when Diggle used to have those kind of conversations with Oliver. And Oliver, it's kind of flipped around now. And I thought that scene was really nicely done, really nicely acted between the two. The two definitely have a strong bond. And it's kind of true what Oliver says, that the Green Arrow wouldn't exist if it wasn't for John Diggle. So I like that we had that moment. Meanwhile, Oliver is also trying to take care of his son, trying to help his son out. Now he's trying to have a better relationship with him. But now there's something that Oliver can't help with, is homework. Because Oliver never really got great grades, and clearly William is a much broader student. He likes to work hard, he likes to study. So we get to have a little bit of Felicity helping William out with that, because obviously she's really good at this stuff. And William is getting used to Felicity, which kind of brings back the Felicity stuff. Now, I was never really a full-on hater of Felicity, but when it became too soap opera-ish, when the show became too much of a soap opera, that's where I started thinking to myself, okay, maybe this relationship isn't working out. So that's when I started to get not fully on the train, but I'm like, I think this relationship can work if they make the relationship enjoyable like it was in this episode. I think that's when it works best, when they don't change Felicity into a drama queen and always crying about herself and her needs. I get it. I in some ways I get it, but sometimes I think about what she's saying, and it says like, yeah, but come on, Felicity, you should know better than this, because you are really smart and we expect you to know more. But I feel like the writers are trying to find problems for her to cry about. But this is an episode I really liked the Felicity stuff again. It was still enjoyable. They had great chemistry. And it's something that I can stand this. If they keep it going like this, without adding at least too much of the soap opera aspect of it, then I can deal with this. And then we also had the federal agent from the FBI still investigating Oliver, and even she's kind of thinking to herself, you know what? I think someone else is under the hood covering for you, and you're just not saying who. And she even has, like, on her board, on her wall, she has a wall of Oliver and all the people that are connected to him. So she's, like, guessing, like, who can be the Green Arrow now. Which I think it's awesome. I'm really... there's a part of me that wants Oliver's secret to come out, especially now that he's moving forward with this bill that will get people to ease off of the vigilantes. And shouldn't vigilantes be okay? I mean, no one has these kind of problems with the Flash in Central City, so why is Star City against vigilantes where Central City is not? I think they should actually address that in an upcoming episode, hopefully. Maybe they will, because they did address the fact that, now that Oliver has given up being Green Arrow and Diggle has taken over, they did address the fact that Diggle does have a child and a wife as well. And he was kind of aware of that and feeling bad about it, but Diggle was like, he understood the consequences, and at least Lila's still there for John Diggle Jr. So the writers definitely know what they're planning. And then we also had that very last shot of Diggle taking the drug to heal his nerve damage, and that sets up something that's going to clearly cause a lot of trouble for Diggle in upcoming episodes. So with that being said, guys, I thought all the episodes this week were really good. Now it's time for my best to worst. Or not best to worst. Which was the best, which was the worst. I could do best to worst, but I'll just have the... Okay. Let's get right into this before I sidetrack too much. The worst episode this week, not the worst, but the least best, was The Flash. The Flash, unfortunately, was my least favorite episode of the week. Didn't like well, you heard what I said. So, the best episode this week, I'm going to give it to Arrow. I thought Arrow was really strong this week. I really liked the story. It had the right balance of everything. So Arrow wins this week, guys. So tell me if you watched any of the episodes this week. How would you rank them? Or tell me which was the best, which was the worst. Do you agree with me? Talk about any of these shows that are going on with DCTV. Because I love all these shows, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that will agree with that we all love these shows. So until next week, this was my DCTV podcast. Until then, I hope you guys like and subscribe to this channel, where I will try to do this every single week. Arrow and Flash reviews are on the side. I do those every night after the episodes air. But for the rest of the shows, if I don't do a special video for them, I will talk about all of them right here. So until next week, take care.